Hey folks, Mose here. Hey, did you ever wonder what pickpockets and moonwalks and senior citizen sneakers all had in common? You stay tuned. Be right back and I'll tell you the story of the Burdock plant. Hey folks, 1941 there was a fella, his name was George de Mestral. He was a Swiss inventor. And he decided a beautiful day that he wanted to take his dog for a walk in the woods. And as he was walking along, he came across this plant. And lo and behold, this plant, these burrs were sticking all over him. They were sticking all over him and all over his dog. Well, he cleared those burrs off, but he saved a few. And the ones that he saved, he took back to his lab and he studied them. And they had a hook on them. And he thought, hey, I know that years ago they used to call these beggars buttons. And the reason they called them beggars buttons is because poor people or beggars couldn't afford to have wooden or stone buttons to close their garments. And he studied and studied and studied, and before you know it, he found out, hey, the beggars used to go ahead and put these seed pods on their clothes, and then they would be able to wrap up their clothes and stay nice and warm. That's how it got the name beggars buttons. Well, he took that idea, and in 1948 he invented the product we know today as Velcro. Now, prior to the invention of Velcro, and even to this day, many countries actually utilize this plant for food. And the burdock plant has a deep root, and they will gather it in the spring or early summer. It's like a potato. As a matter of fact, in Japan, it's as common in the supermarkets as a potato is here. And they call it gobo. And they use that as a food in Japan and throughout the world. Now, you can make a drink with it, also the root, and that helps cleanse the body of impurities. And it's sort of like a diuretic or a water pill. And there were claims that those roots of this plant right here, burdock, would cure syphilis. And that was a big finding back in the old days, if you could get rid of syphilis by taking a natural cure. Well, in 1948, George invented Velcro. But it wasn't until many, many, many more years that he went ahead and patented it. And he thought, I can go to clothing manufacturers and I can sell the idea of using Velcro as an attachment. Well, they didn't really like the idea. A few companies did buy it, especially pant manufacturers. And the biggest claim was that the pickpockets hated Velcro because when they tried to slip that wallet out, they had to pop that Velcro, and as you know and I know, Velcro makes a lot of noise. And so it really stopped the pickpockets. But it wasn't until the 1960s when we had the race for space. Once we went into outer space and we got in that weightless environment, the coffee mugs and the pens and the papers and the tools were flying all around the cockpit. It was dangerous for our astronauts. They decided to use George's invention, Velcro. And they'd stick Velcro on the wall and stick it on the pen or whatever they wanted to attach to the wall. And sure enough, they'd place it there and it would stay. As a matter of fact, when Neil Armstrong had the first moonwalk, Velcro was used to secure his spacesuit. In 1968, Puma, the sneaker company, added Velcro as a closure to their sneakers. And we know today the kids' shoes, especially young kids and the senior citizens, they use Velcro all the time. I can remember in 1992, my wife and I went out to eat, and we went to a place that had alcohol and had food. And when we walked in, there were tons of people. And what were they doing? They were waiting for the human fly contest. They'd dress people up in a Velcro suit and they'd jump on a trampoline and they'd try to see how high up on a wall they could stick. That was a fad that only lasted a few months, but it just goes to show you that the little plant burdock has not only been to the moon, it's been all over the world, and today it's as common as anything. George made himself $1 million and many, many more millions by inventing Velcro. It became popular, and we all have Velcro today. Maybe you can go out, see a natural plant, learn about it, and you can be a millionaire. Hey folks, if you enjoyed learning about the burdock and how George made millions of dollars, stay tuned for future videos on MoseKnowsNature. You can subscribe. It's for free. Give me a thumbs up. Have a great day and enjoy the outdoors.